We live, baby.
Wait, I should have gotten that on video. Do it again. Okay, everyone be just as excited, if not more.
Oh,
Yeah, we're live.
Jerry!
Oh shit, bring them out. Yeah. Like, we just want to make sure mics were hot, sound level. Yeah, that was
right.
Testing ground.
I can go a few levels under that.
We're good.
I got a range.
I love it.
All right, everyone. Welcome to a very special recording of Send Us Flowers. I am sending you all flowers. I have some really amazing people here today. We are having a recording party. So there's weed everywhere, love everywhere, flowers everywhere. People are sending future flowers. We've got some coughs.
Dabs everywhere.
Sounds like our lives.
That's the intro music. So welcome everyone. We're going to be talking about the future of cannabis. That means taxation, the types of weed we smoke, how we smoke it, what we're excited to smoke, who we're excited to smoke it with, what kind of changes we want to see, what we're loving in this industry right now, and maybe what we're not loving, and something. And so to start it off, I would love for everyone who's sitting down right now, just give your name real quick. We don't need to do 30-minute intros. I love you all though so much. But please tell them your name and where to follow you, because then everyone can go and find, your stuff, all your good stuff. So we'll start. Here, Jordan, you wanna start?
Yeah. Tell them where that stuff at.
You can find all my good stuff.
You can find all the stuff, even the private pages.
Follow my good stuff. No, the private pages are strictly for me to manipulate the algorithm. Anyway, hi. I'm Jordan. You can find me on all platforms at JORDAN_ROCKZZ. Or you can find me at home in bed with the blackout curtains drawn. I am a vampire.
Hey.
All right, popcorn.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Fanny, and I'm with INDICA, National Diversity and Inclusion Cannabis Alliance, as well as I am founder of Latinas for Cannabis. You can find me at Cali Girl 310. That is CALIGERRL 310. And it's awesome to be here with everybody and connoisseurs for that matter.
Connoisseurs, you'll feel me.
I did not know we were doing all of that. Hold on. I'll come back. Okay, I'll close out with the rest of my titles.
Exactly. Hello, what's up, everyone? My name's Kimmy Tan. I'm a YouTuber, tattoo artist, and singer-songwriter. Most commonly known for smoking 81 joints on YouTube. So you probably, if you feel like I look familiar, it's probably where you see me. And yeah, you can find me online at Kimmy Tan Official, KIMMYTAN Official. Or just search Kimmy Tan. You're gonna find me.
I'm just Dante. I just sat down and now we're here.
Nice.
Dante_Jordan. I write about weed and stuff. You can pull up on me. I also have Smoking with Dante in front of that if you want to pull up and see some weed reviews. Other than that, I just be cooling, you know what I'm saying?
Chilling.
So hi.
Hey.
What's up, y'all? I'm Roger Sterling, founder of Culture Valley Farms, also known as the Ganja Guru. You can find me at Ganja Guru 2 on Instagram and Culture Valley Farms.
Hey.
Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Red. I am with Grav. My IG is Here's Red, and I'm about to take a dab.
Hey.
I love it.
Did you say, and I'm about to take it down?
Take a
A
dab.
dab.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I was like,
And he took it down.
You should have blown the dab.
It's my
into the,
Instagram, but I'm also
Dab it
about
up.
there very soon.
I guess I should say what I do right. Oh, hi. I'm Jordan again. For the people listening, if you're not watching. I make a lot of really fun videos. And I do marketing strategy for brands across cannabis, lifestyle, and luxury, fragrance, and skincare. And I also bitch about terrible content on the internet because I am one of the best content creators, and and that's why I'm very glad to be here because Liz, the whole like title of this podcast is beautiful because I believe that especially a lot of people in this room can relate as like entrepreneurs and like self-starters that with the old way of the world that kind of has gone out of the window with the generation of thought leadership is the whole archaic like powers that be type of thing, and constantly being like working behind the scenes and wondering when will you receive your flowers. So
yes.
I love this demand of like send us our flowers because bitch we've been like killing it and working hard for this shit, so it's about fucking time.
Yes.
Excuse my language.
No, I love that, and I would love to start with Fanny because so something, you know, with cannabis and the future of cannabis and what's happening in this state and many others is that taxes are crazy, and so if we want to see a really bright future for cannabis, we really need to get a grasp on what's happening policy-wise, how it affects businesses, especially newcomers to the space and ones that have been here that simply can't afford to keep up.
Yeah.
And so I would love to start with you and talk about the tax initiative that you brought up and what's happening with that.
So LA Equity Fund is the group, and it's made up of different organizations, cannabis organizations, as well as social justice organizations. And what we're doing, we're actually having different events for drives, voter drives or signature drives, so that we can get it on the ballot next year.
Wow.
And you know, hopefully pass it, because right now high taxes are really stifling a lot of businesses, and not only that, consumers, because the taxes get passed on to the consumer. So not, you know, it makes it hard for a lot of businesses that want to transition into legal cannabis, and it also makes it hard as a consumer to get good weed at good prices without going to, you know, the non-legal market or the non-licensed market, unlicensed market. So we are the group of organizations, and again, it takes a village to pass something like this, because there are other companies that don't want this passed, because if there is no competition, then there are going to be the conglomerates that are going to be driving the industry, and we don't want that, because typically those conglomerates, they don't know nothing about the culture, they don't know nothing about the product, and so it's really something that we should all take interest in and do our part, even if it's just by signing and you know, agreeing that it should be passed on.
Yeah, and I mean, that is incredible work. And with the people that are in this room and the other room and the roaming rooms of this building, I feel that we have a lot of power and voice in making change and enacting that change. And so I'm curious, what are those steps forward that people here can walk away with today, or listeners can walk away with? I know you said that you're doing voter registration events. When are you going to be hosting things like that?
So the next event that we're having is April 16th, and it's going to be in Leimert Park. We do focus on Black and brown communities, because we have been the most affected by the war on drugs. And currently, to this day, there's a lot of people that are serving time while people are getting delivered their weed to their door.
Yeah. Yeah. Jordan, you have something you
want to
say?
No,
like,
yes, please.
I'm like, is it inappropriate to be like Fanny's conversation like made me horny? like absolutely.
Well, hell.
I mean, but you're absolutely doing the work. So like that's why I'm passionate about content as a medium of marketing, because in terms of social media, it's one of the only ways we can market cannabis, and most oftentimes it's like one of the areas where brands have, like, my number one thing, and the reason I got into that specific sector of the space is that I came from a very intense retail background, and I used to work with some of the biggest luxury brands in the world, and the problem that I fucking hated about all of it was that it was all veneer. And as cannabis was becoming that, everything was becoming, the branding for a brand was a lifestyle shoot with a white girl in a bikini smoking a joint.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, but what about when I ran my Prop 215 shop, and I also opened the first CBD store in LA, most of my clients were like 50 and above, and my patients, and the people that were spending the real money and the people that needed to be educated, and they weren't looking to like macrodose and just get fucking high. Like they were like, this is my medicine, and how can I access this, and how can I know
how
that
much
the
should
person
I take,
exactly, and how can I know I can trust where I'm going,
right?
Versus like you said, these conglomerates, they come in and they just buy up all the small brands, and that's what I have to explain to people so often is when I like have these conversations with a lot of really dope people that have money, and they're like, oh yeah, like it's cool that cannabis is coming around. And I was like, no, like there's shit that's happening in this world. I was like, little do you know, like you hear that a mutual friend that you know made $3 million, and you're like, oh my God, they made so much money. I'm like, do you know how the taxes work? And do you also understand that like for a lot of the smaller brands that are out here against the bigger, larger companies, that the larger companies don't have to worry about being profitable. All they have to worry about, all they have to do is worry about the smaller brands dying out in the next 3 years because they have enough money to bankroll for 3 years and just get by, and then they can absorb them.
I mean, perfect example is MedMen.
Okay,
and
don't get me started.
And I will put them on blast because there's a lot of public interviews where Adams. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Adam particularly speaks on that and how he didn't care about how it was going to stifle out the competition, when we really know that it also stifles out culture. And in California, it may not have been licensed or the first to become legal per se, but we have a lot of generational farmers. I mean, the culture is so rich and goes through generations, you know, that, I mean, we need to preserve that.
Oh, absolutely. Sure. I agree. I love that you're doing that work.
Thank you. And we can all do that work, you know, even just in sharing and educating, like you said, you know, a lot of our elderly, that's where, because they don't want to come to the shops. They don't want to be seen at a shop. So,
but also they don't want to be taking pills.
Exactly. So delivery system has helped them a lot too, and just teaching them how microdosing and building up that tolerance, or maybe a particular strain versus another one, indica versus sativa. How does that how is your body going to behave? Because it could be good for one person, but not every body is the same. And so you need to learn that through trying out, but microdosing as well.
And also teaching them that your body is made to accept this.
Yeah, it's biodegradable.
And the chemicals that the government, I know it's a big scary word, is, you know, force feeding you. Right, censored. I'm so sorry. No money. You can cut that out. But I mean, we know how it all works. In terms of, you know, the bigger system doesn't see healthy people as a benefit. They see it as a detriment to the capitalistic society that we live in. They don't become
pharmaceutical customers.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Something that I thought was really interesting, you started talking about indica sativa hybrid, and I think that a part of this conversation, and especially the future of weed and educating consumers, is getting us past that point of saying, oh, this is like the highest THC, and like, you know, what the experience truly is. And what I think is so cool about, you know, Kimmy, your content, and Roger, your content, and, you know, Dante, you too, and Jordan, all of us do something where it's a little bit more of like, not just, hey, I'm fucked up, which is still fun, but like you also talk about how it's affecting
awareness.
You. Awareness. And, you know, like, Kimmy, you're an incredible tattoo artist. You're an incredible artist just in general. You know, you do makeup and tattooing and all sorts of other art. Like, your apartment, when you started taking those pictures, like, that's art. And so I would love to hear, you know, how you're approaching the hybrid sativa, indica, you know, conversation, and what you think about that.
I mean, as someone who used to not particularly love being stoned all the time. I mean, when I want to say like, when I just really started getting into it, like 17, 18 or whatever, you're already super socially awkward at that age. And like, for me, I was in college. And so I felt like almost smoking weed was just like it was like something I almost like had to do. Like in a certain way, like I didn't really truly start enjoying it until I took on a journey of my own and started to actually go into it.
That's super interesting.
Mm-hmm. But I realized around that time too, everyone that was feeling like me used to always say the same thing, that sativas were the strains they preferred because they felt like they could actually control their body because there's no body high or head high or whatever. And then I remember back then strains like green crack were everything. I'm honestly a bit glad that died out. But I mean, it's if anything, it's a good, I guess. Some knowledge is better than none. Like, you know what I mean? And so, I mean, in terms of like, people who are just starting to get into it, I would say, don't give yourself like rules like that when you just start smoking. Like, I only smoke indicas, I only smoke like whatever. It's just like you don't know yet, you don't know how your body reacts to it. Who knows, maybe like sativas might be like too much for you because it makes you overthink. So if you naturally have anxiety, especially social anxiety, and you're thinking like, oh, I wanna smoke an indica because I want to feel like I'm in charge, I don't want to feel that body high because I still want to be able to like maneuver this social situation, you could just like not like just like it's cool,
and I love that. And everyone has such a different journey with cannabis, especially because where we're all from, like, a lot of people don't even have options. You get whatever the fuck you get.
It's always, it's that gas, it's that Zaza, it's that fire. That's all you get,
So what is this? Gas.
Actual gas, diesel.
And I have this whole like theory in my mind that in most places that we have like less than productive pieces of society, that it's just pretty much indicas pushed there. So you have people that not necessarily aren't like, I like an indica. I like everything. Like you said, you can't box yourself in. So give me something during every different time of the day. But if you only push like a certain terpene profile to a certain region, then people that consume that are in the morning are less likely to be productive during the day or be even energized during the day or even like into themselves to where they feel like this is going to be a good day. Like I like to have my citrus terps in the morning because they really make me feel energized and like ready for that. Like I'm ready to take on the day. That's my coffee.
Some people need it for medical purposes.
Absolutely.
So in terms of pain, indica does serve its purpose to be able to help that.
Well, I mean, as far as black market, like that's what like people who consume like and learn about cannabis, they learn about it like this is what you get. It's not you don't get to learn like about the array of it. So like
it's also I think a SoCal NorCal thing divide, because here in SoCal the OG has always gotten pushed, which is obviously an indica. But up north with generational farmers, there's so many like race strains, and nowadays in the market you can't really find true indica or true sativa. They're all crossed.
Everything is hybrid. I'm from Alabama, so I'm coming from a market that like I feel like even in like the Emerald Triangle up there, like it's been normalized to a way that after and can be in a functioning place with it, I can be on the indica all day or any of those like indica hybrid, like I can be on a linalool profile all day and be still functioning fine. Like I'm not gonna be relaxed and lazy because I'm on a linalool profile. I can still be good, but in certain places where that's all you get, I feel like it's more.
Yeah, and it's true.
It's more push.
It is true about the country and what you get, because I mean I'm a California girl, so we're totally spoiled out here.
Give me all of them.
Yeah,
during
when you
times.
travel, you realize how not everybody has the same access of it.
And it can limit just the euphoria that you get with the experience. So imagine like not having all those accesses, just having like the two
Blue Dream.
Blue
Dream.
The chronic.
And that Blue Dream being the indica, like, or being something that's super heavy on you as opposed to something that's super light and euphoric,
I feel like Blue Dream's kind of like the vanilla ice cream of strains.
People
like,
use that term everywhere.
It is.
It really is.
Blue Dream is heat.
Blue dream.
I'm gonna stand by it on camera.
I do love a good
Fire.
blue dream.
But it's
Classic
a good
strain.
starter, too.
Played its
yeah.
role in the
It's the
history
good
and
classic
culture.
vanilla. It's
Like,
that
y'all
Bluebell
gotta stop
homemade.
playing with Blue
It
Dream's
is that
name.
Bluebell home.
Y'all really
It's that
do.
swirl.
I mean, I say that as from the point of I love vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
She's like, but vanilla
That's
is
like
my
vanilla ice
opening.
cream now, see?
It's like you can't go wrong
Right.
with it. You know what I
She's
mean?
like,
you can
vanilla-
add stuff
Vanilla
to
bean.
it. You know,
She's
you
like,
can-
vanilla is my Ben and Jerry's,
Yeah,
bitch.
come on.
Oh, but you know when you
You
got
don't
that
get to
vanilla
have
bean.
fake without vanilla.
When you have that
Exactly.
You gotta
the
get that bougie bean.
Oh no.
That's when you know you got that good.
What
girl.
about
It's French
favorite
vanilla.
strains? So you have your
Ooh.
favorite is Blue Dream?
Blue Dream?
Come on, now you just making assumptions just because
No,
I
no,
still
no.
buy Blue Dream.
I'm
No,
not
I'm just
asking,
fucking with
I'm
you.
asking.
Blue Dream is
I'm
one of
sorry,
my
you
favorite
told us
strains.
to.
But my favorite strain, like kind of right now, and I think possibly ever now, is a strain called Whitethorn Rose from Huckleberry Hill Farms. They're up in NorCal, and it's
What's
just very
the cross?
unique.
Do you know?
I forget. I think it's like Paradise Punch and something else. I'd have to look. Just tastes good. It's very unique. Like I be smoking it at the crib, and sometimes my roommate will walk out and be like, "What the fuck did you smoke?" Every time, and I smoke all kinds of different shit all day. But every time I smoke that one, he was like, "Yo."
What was it again?
It's called Whitethorn Rose. You can get it at Cornerstone Wellness, I believe,
Okay,
is where a friend told me she got it.
nice.
Fuck with it.
I've
It's
tried
sweet.
some
It's
really good
it's
White
a really beautiful
Russian
flower.
too. And those are old strains. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like
Yeah.
nowadays, everything's back cross, which is still cool. But I love the original strains where you can just taste the genetics.
Yeah.
You know.
Are you able to find those frequently, like in high quality?
It's harder to find them down here, but if you go up north, you'll find them for sure.
Got you. So you be going on strain hunts.
Yeah. Well, you know,
I
pheno
feel that.
hunters.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I don't have a favorite strain. I have more like an ideal day.
Okay.
That way I can hit all of my I can have those.
Oh, he fancy.
You align them all
I just
day.
like to feel good.
Yeah. So it'll be
That's
some-
awesome.
Yeah, something sweet and tangy in the morning.
Tangerine's
Yeah,
good.
Tangy's one of my favorites. Like I'll
So
go crazy about
tasty.
Tangy, but I also want some Blue Dream in the morning.
Come
like-
on, see,
Yeah.
look now everybody want to stand by.
No,
Blue Dream.
I just bought a Blue Dream plant.
Stood by her.
We
and
just
look,
bought a
look.
Blue Dream plant. Then I just bought a Blue Dream
Oh, yeah,
plant.
you got a
this
Blue
week.
Dream one,
I'm growing some Blue Dream.
Yeah,
I got
nah.
blueberry muffin.
Yeah. But yeah, give me
How
some
about you?
Acapulco Gold too.
I like GMO. GMO is probably my top strain. I will smoke it.
I would smoke it.
I'll smoke it if you tell me it came from
GMO?
Mexico.
I would eat
What
it.
is GMO?
I would lay in
Do you
it.
know the name?
It's
Or
Skin Dog and GSC.
I know a lot. I've seen that strain around
Yeah?
a lot.
Yeah.
I've seen that strain out around a lot.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like a somewhat of a newer strain, right? Because
Yeah.
a couple years back, I don't remember seeing
do
that.
you know what the genetics are?
You just
It's Kim Dog and Girl Scout cookies.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, nice. I love Chem Dog. That's another good one.
Yeah.
Citrus.
It's really like garlicky and like citrusy and gassy. It's
Sounds
fire.
delicious.
It's got that
The
punch.
nugs, like,
Oh, yeah, you know.
are super. They look like
Yeah.
tails, and they're like super twisty.
Yeah.
I also really like that lemon sour diesel. Okay, that what's in those
Sour diesel's
those
another
free
great
rolls.
one.
The lemon can sourdough.
The lemon
That's my
can-
MJ Ultra.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's
Very
tasty.
citrusy.
It's so citrusy. Like
I
that's so
love citrusy,
good.
for
Yeah.
sure.
And I also like Asian Fantasy. It's you can't find it a lot. Only like one brand has it, but it's like the sister of green crack. And it's like a different pheno of green crack, and it has a different terpene profile. But it's kind of hard to find. But that's the strain that I used to smoke heavy.
Nice.
And Oaksterdam.
What does
Those are
Asian
strains I can't
Fantasy
find
taste
that,
like?
Huh?
What does Asian Fantasy taste like?
It tastes like green crack and tangy together.
Mm.
And
Delicious.
it's
That sounds
literally
good.
like Valium, and it's like such a euphoric high. It is like it'll put you on your
Yeah.
ass and make you
Going there. Let's
believe.
get it. Nah, let me put my bag behind my back. Now we get into it.
It's a lot. It's like a
Pharmaceutical.
sedative high. It's cool.
I can dig that.
Wow.
Hey.
Okay. Said value.
How about you?
Actually,
Why you look at me like I had?
because it's a shared friend of ours. I had some of her weed, Ricky's weed.
Mm-hmm.
She got purple ayahuasca and Acapulco.
Oh, some she grew? Good for her. She
That
did
shit
a good
was
job.
fire. It literally tasted like the color purple, like which is so like crazy.
Yes.
And
Purple's my
then
favorite
I would
color.
say,
That sounds so good.
Is that a indica dominant?
yeah, it was like a little bit more of an indica dominant hybrid. And then Acapulco Gold Classic.
Nice.
I would say I'm really rocking with Source Cannabis has this one called Lavender Sky.
Their
That
rainbow
was
runs is
Lavender's
crazy.
The
too,
Rainbow
too,
Runs is like
yeah.
super
Rainbow Runs
popular.
is insane.
That is
Yeah.
crazy. And then a good classic of mine that I do love to this day, and I low-key need to check in with this brand, is a Golden State's Lava Flower. The terps are just nice. It's in the high. It's a really good sativa, and the high is like my favorite to get creative and to get in the kitchen and cook, or like to go to the studio and just like choreograph for like a day. Like
Nice.
it's the best euphoric
Nice.
creative high for sativas.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of purple, Granddaddy Perp
A
is
classic.
good. Yeah.
Yes, always
yeah.
a classic.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So we are about 30 minutes deep. Just to let everyone know, I want to make sure everyone is comfortable. Thank you again for listening to Send Us Flowers. And thank you everyone for being here for Send Us Flowers.
Thank you for hosting.
Yeah.
It's an awesome group of people.
Yes, this is so cool. And so we're going to switch a few people out. We have Ayana and Eric with us.
Hello.
If you guys would like to stay, you're welcome to. If you want to take a break, you're also welcome to. I want to make sure everyone is hydrated and stoned. So we're going to take a
Hydrated,
few
all right.
minutes, get settled, and then we'll introduce everyone back in. Thanks for staying
Awesome.
with us.